So guys, I want to thank you for being my rock. Because since last Father's Day, it's been kind of a test. And I apologize this year that I couldn't be there at all games or every time because Coach Fitz understands the situation. But I'm blessed to be here. And I thank all you people for everything. And you seniors, our graduates, I wish you the best. You'll be missed, but not forgotten. And don't be afraid to go down the field and help Grandpa here hit fly balls.
Like I said, we appreciate everything y'all do. And at the beginning of the season, we had a rough start. We dropped 3 one-run games. And that showed a lot about our team. We could have buckled, and we could have folded throughout the season, but we showed a lot of character. We went back to work, and we started doing the small things. And after those 3 games, we run off 7 wins in a row, and that showed a lot about what us as a team, what we could do. And most of them blame Dr. Meadows for getting spiked at practice. But like I said, I appreciate everything that y'all done, and we did a really good job, the JV guys, and looking forward towards the next few years that we had. But the awards we had to give today, we had 1 award to give away, and we allowed the players to vote, and all the players had their input for JV MVP. And honestly, it was a kind of divided vote, but in the end, Dr. Meadows was the JV MVP.
Work that goes into it, guys like Hunter and George and the guys behind the scenes. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate what they do, but honestly, I appreciate what the kids do so much more. I mean, they got to go to school, they got to make their grades, then they got to come out to baseball practice, and nobody likes to be fussed at, nobody likes to be yelled at. I mean, not a soul. And they come out every day, and we're fussing and pushing and driving, and yet they come back tomorrow. And none of what we've done here could ever be done without the kids. So, thank you guys. We appreciate you. I know your parents appreciate you. And, I don't say it enough, and I truly mean that. As we move forward tonight, I could talk about a lot of plays in the season. We start out in the first game of the year down in Glenn County, and our first hit of the year is Jeremy Beasley tripling, off the fence. And then, later in that game, later in the second game that night, Chris didn't make a play on a fly ball in the gap, right, against Wayne County that night, 2-1. But 13 weeks later, right, you make the same play at the start of the Bleckley County game, right? I mean, the same play with confidence. Chris, I can't tell you how, coming into the season, I had no expectation for you to be an everyday player, and you wound up starting 16 games and playing in the majority of our 27 games. And again, that's a testament, a credit to you, and how hard that you wanted it. You came out on Sundays, you were out during basketball season. God knows if you'd have done that for the last couple of years, you might have had a severe impact. I wish we had you for one more year, because if you put that work ethic in that you put in this year into what would be another season, I think you would wind up being a phenomenal player, not just a really good one, but a phenomenal one. I can say a lot about all our seniors. Hunter Brady been a starter for me since he was a sophomore. And kind of watching him grow from a midget, as a 10th grader who really didn't understand what was going on, and then having you come out there on the mound and walk right over the pitcher and go right to you and start dogging you out in front of your teammates about not hustling or going to the right spot. to watch and watch what happened to you this year. I don't know. I haven't finished final stats that included our playoffs, but Hunter wound up with our top batting average this year, and was a guy we felt so good about that we had to move him from the 1 spot to the 3 slot. Jeremy, you came in, 6'5" and awkward. I mean, just awkward. And man, what you grew into over the course of 4 years, and honestly, I'll mention it, as we go on tonight. He winds up being a first-team all-region pitcher, invited to play in the All-Star game this weekend, and has made Team Georgia's senior team fixing to go to Oklahoma and play for Team Georgia. So, I mean, what a great accomplishment. A lot to be said about what you've done also. Brandon, you and me, man, we've not always seen eye to eye. I know me and Ricky haven't, right? Seen eye to eye, but you stayed with it. I knew in the Bryan County game this year, I hope that you knew I was trying to send you a message. And you got it. After having a hot start to the season, you cooled off right through the middle of the field. We delivered you a message. You wound up hitting 300 on the year. I'll never forget. What happened in the dugout at Cook County when you were sitting behind me and you were talking to somebody about the pitcher and just threw it past you. It struck you out maybe on 3 pitches, and you said, "I don't know what to do." The guy just threw it past me. I turned around and said, "Don't let it throw by you. Get the barrel out front. You double off the fence, man. I'm standing at third base. I'm telling you, I'm go, because what a way to have ended your career right there, and what a way to do it with 2 hits in an inning. First to get it going, and then to give us, man, I'm proud of you and what you did this year. Just fantastic. Christian, the little engine that could, right? I couldn't help but listen to Barney's tape. There's Christian Moore with the wide open stance. That's what Barney kept saying. I kept hearing him every time he came to the plate. And last year, you wound up hitting 300 for us. I felt like you got snubbed in the all-region category last year, and you wound up being an honorable mention guy in the all-region, and made a commitment to be better this year. And by mere points in region play, you actually had our highest batting average in region play this year, and wound up being a first-team all-region selection. So, I mean, that was fantastic. I mean, that was great. Who am I missing right here? Blake Horton, right? Where are you at? Hi, dang, Blake. All year last year, I'm just kind of overlooking it. I'm overlooking you. And this year, you made me look bad for overlooking. And I'm proud of what you did this year. I also sent you a message that I thought you received really well. And from that point on, you really stepped up your game. Strikeouts went way down, balls in play way up, and defensively as good an outfielder as we've ever had here. I mean, just a really great year for you. So proud of you. And then James, I don't know how many different things I can recount. Here we're thinking in the first round, it's an oddity for a guy to throw 10 innings in a playoff game and throw them really well, and then that's never going to happen again. And then 5 days later, it actually happened again with Jeremy having to do it. But we struggled through some things offensively this year. But when the team needed you to be clutch, especially on the hill, you were clutch. And this group of guys have been with me for 3 years, and I can't tell you how much I'm going to miss you and how much I appreciate you and your parents. And much like George said, man, please come back and help him hit fly balls to the outfield, because he's really bad at it. We had a shaky start, 0-5, coming off of last year's team. 0-5. I didn't envision us being 0-5 when we got started, but here we sit after the first couple of region games, and we were 0-3 in the region, or 0-2 in the region, and we're 0-5, and we didn't panic. You know, things settled into place. We ourselves were on a 7-game winning streak, got the thing back to 8-8, and really never looked back. We had a great year. It was capped off by the voting of our all-region team. So I'm going to start tonight with our all-region selections. We had 4 guys that were voted into. Go ahead, I'll take all 4 of them. We had four guys that were voted to our all-region team, and they were all first-team members. Okay. I don't have final numbers tonight, so I won't be able to read them to you. We're going to start with Jeremy Beasley, first team Region 2AA pitcher. From 6'5" and really awkward to 4 years later having a scholarship offer from Mercer University that he turned down to go to Darton and to play for Team Georgia. What a great honor. Congratulations, Jeremy, and thank you so much. Christian Moore, first team outfielder. First team outfielder, James Etheridge. And our last first team all-region selection, second year in a row, Hunter Brady is all-region 2AA second baseman. All right, we had 2 guys that were honorable mention, and they were actually both really close to becoming second-team guys. First honorable mention was D.R. Meadows. Let's go for 3 in a row, then. I would have fought much harder for this one had I been there, so I'm blaming Hunter for it. But Brandon Beck. Okay, now for our team awards. I don't know what you're going to do with this. I mean, I don't know where you put this. I don't know. It's big. You got a special place for this at home? All right, first award tonight was picked by the 3 of us. It's a coach's award, and this particular person started out our season with some adversity this year, and really ended it with a bang. Literally, with 3 home runs in the playoffs. This guy was our junior varsity MVP last year, so I mean, coming into the season, you know, the bar was super high. I mean, you know, we had high expectations as coaches. I think he had high expectations of himself as a player. And for whatever reason, things just did not click early. And to his credit, on Sundays when, you know, I'm down at the field, we open up every Sunday. I'm down at the field, and there's 3 people down there every Sunday, and that's Tyler Luke, D.R. Meadows, and Jeremy Beasley every Sunday to hit, take ground balls, do whatever they can do to get themselves better. And he just kept coming and just kept coming, and then all of a sudden, on 1 3-2 pitch, after everybody in this room yelled at the umpire, right, Ricky Beckham? I know you did because I heard you from where I was at. I thought you were going to get rung right there. And I think the people around you were hoping you were going to get rung, right? So with 1 3-2 pitch and a fist pump, woo, right? And as you saw in the video, I think I knew it as soon as he hit it because I yelled from the third base coach's box. Apparently, Celine Meadows has watched enough baseball too because she stood up right away right there. Had the hand up in the air. But our 2014 Coaches Award, Tyler Luke. Yeah, George said he missed that home run at Bleckley County. George has major court issues. Okay, our next award is for our Defensive Player of the Year. And again, you know, wasn't a very difficult decision for us as coaches. There are when a ball is popped up in the air, I mean, it's got to be caught, right? I mean, you can't give the team extra outs. When a ball is hit on the ground, it's got to be fielded and thrown. And the person who won this award for us, we felt like saved us the most outs on the season with balls in the dirt or balls that are thrown away. And I'm glad you grew from 6'5" and awkward to 6'5" and really coordinated. Jeremy Beasley, our 2014 Defensive Player of the Year. Our 2004 Offensive Player of the Year was extremely close through the regular season. You know, they were mere percentage points. I mean, one had a higher region average, and one had a higher overall average. We went with the highest overall average. Christian, you finished just a few points underneath our 2014 Offensive Player of the Year was Hunter Brady. And our last award that we have is our team MVP. It's the only award that we let the kids vote on. It was really interesting when they came down and voted. Keep in mind, not everybody came that day, so not everybody voted in this, but we wound up having 18 votes. And there were 8 votes for one. There were 8 votes for another one. There was 1 vote for somebody else. And there was 1 vote that I think the person got it right. And it was Chris Mobley who did it. Because I happened to see his paper when he turned it in. And he wrote on it, Etheridge Beasley. And as we talked about it, we said, you know, at this point, what's our best option? You know, do we hunt up the 3 kids that didn't vote, or or do we go with the one guy on the team that had enough sense to really realize that without pitching, you don't win? And this year, it kind of took me back. I learned, first of all, I always thought Coach Bucheri called me Peckerwood because I kept going and like a woodpecker, and I just wouldn't stop, you know. But come to find out, it's because I'm just white trash. But I've got a lot of great stories from high school with Coach Bucheri, and it was funny when George's name got brought to me about somebody who might be able to help us. And we started talking, and he's like, you know, hey, I worked up in Williston, I worked up in Denellen, and I was like, well, heck, I went to high school 15 miles from Denellen. He said, oh yeah, who's your coach? I said, Joe Bucheri. He said, Babu. You know, and then Babu is what we called him, you know, because he's a stout, kind of large guy, and if you rub his belly, you know, good things would generally happen. And one of the stories that I've told our kids is one time I made fun of his belly. And, you know, he picked me up with two hands out of the seat at Burger King and threw me on top of everybody's tray, choking me very seriously with two hands. It took an entire team, all our coaching staff, and, you know, one of the kids asked me, well, what'd your parents say about it? I said, my dad was sitting 3 booths away. You know, that was back in the day where, you know, coaches were getting after you in a different way. You know, this guy had to get after me personally. Many of you probably know also that I was a teammate of Mike Hampton in high school. As a matter of fact, we were best friends. You know, I went on and got my college degree and make $166 a month to coach baseball, right? He signed with the Seattle Mariners out of high school and made $250 million in an 18-year major league career. Right? I mean, vast difference. And so tell me who you think the coach liked more. He did. He liked me more, right? Because I wasn't a prima donna. But our senior year, you know, Mike and I in a team vote also tied for MVP. And I knew that night going into the awards banquet, I knew how much it meant to me. And when Coach Bucheri called my name for the MVP and called Mike's name for the MVP, it was like, it may have been at that point the best day of my life. And I know these guys will feel that way about it too. It's really an honor that your teammates see it this way. Chris, again, you know, you're the one guy that wrote it down, and I think wrote it down right. Our 2014 Toombs County High School Most Valuable Players, James Etheridge and Jeremy Beasley. All right, so I do have to ask, who did you vote for?
James.
They both lied.